everybody, welcome. This is the Golden Lotus Studio Songwriters Open Mic Night. And just a couple announcements before we get started here. I just want to thank Golden Lotus Studio for hosting this open mic night. If you're not familiar with what that is, it's an online songwriting community started by Gary Grundy, and they have songwriting classes and workshops, and it's a really lovely resource. So check it out if you don't know about it. And we do this open mic twice a month on the first and third Saturday of the month, and we have about 5 to 6 performers each night and one featured artist at the end of the night who will play a little bit longer set and then do a brief Q&A. And I'm excited to have Kella Parker as our featured artist tonight, so stick around and you can ask her questions if you want to type into the comments. The whole thing only lasts an hour, so not too much of your time. And I just want to say that this has been a crazy week, and I think we're all experiencing things in our own ways, and I know a lot of us are wondering what we can do to help. I know that I haven't personally been able to go to protests that I wish I could because of coronavirus concerns, and we're all navigating that. So I put a link in the YouTube under the video if you want to donate to bail funds to help people who have been protesting or to help other activist groups. And if you click that link, there's a lot of different options depending on what city you're in, what state you're in, because we have people watching from all over. So if you take a look at that and find something that speaks to you that you want to support, that's a nice thing to do. Not required. This open mic is definitely always free to watch, free to play, but just if you're looking for ways to help. My name is Sienna Friend, and I'm going to start off the night tonight by playing a song. So this is a song I wrote at the beginning of this year. My cousin was about to have a baby, and I was kind of wrote this song thinking about that baby. But I think it's also about sort of just trusting life, but also taking action and choosing the path of your life. So it's called A Pen and a Blank Page. No great mystery. First there was an ocean, and then there was a fish. A dreamer sleeping on a ship got tired of dreaming, so she made a wish. She wished she could open her eyes. She wished for a thing called a sunrise, and when she saw it come true, she wished for you. You know the way, you choose the day. The sun and the stars are waiting to hear what you will say. You know the way, you choose the day. The world is waiting with a pen and a blank page. chapter, what are you gonna do? You know the way. You choose the day. The sun and stars are waiting to hear what you will say. You know the way. You choose the day. There's nothing you can't do with a pen and a blank page. A blank page. I'll be the one who writes the scene. Be the one who dreams the dream. Yeah, be the one who steers the ship. Be the one who makes the wish. You know the way. You choose the day. There's nothing you can't do with a pen. With a pen. With a pen. And a blank page. Thanks, guys. All right. Next up, we have Jessie Jane, friend from the Songwriting School of Los Angeles, and second time performing here at this open mic. So thanks for coming back, Jessie. I'm gonna spotlight you now.
Hey everyone. Hey. Hope you're all doing okay. Yeah, what a week. Oh, what a time right now. So I will start off with something a little more light, and then I wrote a song last night that I'm gonna try. Probably will go wrong, but we'll see. But anyway, I'll start with the lighter one. I had a watermelon sugar and I wanted to write a song like that, so I tried writing a song about a cactus pear and it turned into something else. So this is it. Cactus pear, are you there? What sits under your skin? Are the needles digging in? Speared my shell, stings like hell, but you're sweeter than you look. One glare and you've got me hooked, my sweet green hazard. My heart is scattered, my little cactus pear, my little cactus pear, my little cactus pear, my little cactus pear. Spikes bear fruit, pain acute, sour bite is what I like, shame it comes at a price. Your guarded life, times of strife, I'll be there on the prickly days, can't stop till I've caught your gaze, my sweet green hazard. My heart is scattered, my little cactus pear. Let me dampen all of your needles, defending
That was awesome. Hey, Jess.
Yeah.
You can you turn down just a little bit
Oh, is it?
on your mic? When you were singing loud, it was just getting a little.
Yeah.
Um,
Turn
but
it down.
that sounded great. I love that song.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Is it breaking the mic? Sorry.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, hopefully that's that. Okay, so now I have to like. So, yeah. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening, and thought I was gonna do a different song on piano, but I think I just want to try this one and see what happens. This is called Earthquake, and it is about a lot of the mixture of things going on at the moment. And yeah, let's see how this goes. Try it out. News switch by the hour, headlines we devour, spreads like wildfire, figureheads cower, historic wake up, condition shake up, meteoric break up above the ground we thought we knew. Fists shake the air everywhere. Can you hear the heartache? Mighty earthquake, mighty earthquake happening. My flag is on fire. Leader's a liar. Funeral pyre for another caught in the crossfire. Feet take to the streets, together feel the beat, riding the rhythm that breaks up our concrete, and fists shake the air everywhere. Can you hear the heartache? Mighty earthquake, mighty earthquake happening. This the time to listen, this the time to be seen. Let's change the story as the earthquakes on the scene. A rumble in our fabric, a shift we can't foresee. All eyes on us, my love, earthquake harmony. Fists shake the air everywhere. Can you hear the heartache? Mighty earthquake, mighty earthquake, mighty earthquake, mighty earthquake, mighty earthquake, mighty earthquake, here, mighty earthquake, mighty earthquake, mighty earthquake.
Thank you, Jesse. That was beautiful.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. All right. Let's see. Next up, we have Peach Wellington, who I also met at the Songwriting School of Los Angeles one night at a co-writing class, and we've done a few co-writes since then together, and she just released her first single recently, and happy to have you here, Peach. Oops. I think I muted you. There we go.
Well, thank you. Happy to be here. Yeah, this is a song that me and Sienna wrote called Sidelines.
Awesome.
Wake up in the morning, no one else in my bed. I'm not lonely, I can talk to myself instead. I can wipe my day clean, flip through trashy magazines, binge Buffy reruns, even make my breakfast with no panties on at the end of the day. No one's wiping my tears. Have I been married to myself all these years? Did I miss my train? I've been asleep for lifetimes. All I have is this dirty pain. Don't wanna spin my wheels on the sideline. Tuck myself into the night, no one else in my bed. I'm so lonely, tired of monologuing like I did. My day had all the rain, now I'm out to the TV screen. I can't share a laugh. Can't meet the eyes of my other half. Did I miss my train? I've been asleep for lifetimes. All I have is this dirty pain. Don't wanna spin my wheels on the sidelines. Oh, I'm ready to cross over. Oh, I'm done singing the same refrain. Oh, I'm ready to be an us again. Did I miss my train? I've been asleep for lifetimes. All I have is this dirty pain. Don't wanna spin my wheels on the sidelines. Did I miss my train? I've been asleep for lifetimes. All I have is this dirty pain. Don't wanna spin my wheels on the sidelines. 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 Thank you.
Thank you, Peach. That's it for you for tonight, right? Just the one. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. That was beautiful. All right. Next up, we have Gloria Stearns Bruner. And Gloria is my aunt, and she is a music therapist, a violinist, and I'm so happy that you decided to join tonight, Gloria.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This was going to be a little different kind of music since I I improvise on the violin and then use a looping pedal to play different parts. So I don't know at all what I'm going to play. But one thing that came to me was I've had a sort of a hard time yesterday and today not feeling. I mean, I usually do feel everything really well, and it's really unusual for me to go through several things that are really deep and not feel. Um, Yesterday, I went to the protest here in Bloomington, Indiana, with masks and distancing, and I wasn't moved. Everything was just as it should be. You know, tons of support, no police, no unfortunate events. It was lots of support and love. And I don't know where my heart was. And then this morning I found out that an elderly friend is tested positive who's in a nursing home for COVID-19. And I didn't shed a tear. I didn't light my candles. I didn't light my incense. I don't know where my heart is. And then I was weed whacking a lot this afternoon for a space that we're going to plant, Pine Grove, and it stopped up. You know, I got stopped up, and I looked down at it, and unplugged it first, and it was all these vines that gotten twisted around that string, that little like center motor thing. If you've ever done weed whacking, and it couldn't move because it was so bound up with these twines of these all these grasses and vines that had gotten twisted in there. It couldn't do its cutting, and I started pulling them out, and I thought that's what happened to my heart. It's just got too much wrapped around it. So I think I'll dedicate my music to finding my heart again. I got.
Thank you so much. That's beautiful.
Thanks.
I love what you said, and I think I know what you mean about not being able to feel when big things are happening. And I think one of the gifts of music is that it does also allow us to feel, even if it's not related. It's just, it opens my heart, I know. So thank you for sharing that. All right, next up we have Karen Barr. Find you, Karen. And Karen and I met at a workshop with Jonathan Brooke in Nashville. Actually, we took 2 workshops together. Haven't seen you in like almost 2 years, so I'm a fan of your music and really happy to hear your music tonight.
Thanks, Sienna. Thank you so much for inviting me to this. I've wanted to comment on your songs, everybody, but I'm afraid that I'll exit the meeting if I do something like that. So just know that they're really beautiful pieces, and I thank you for them. This is a song called Tender Mercy. The inspiration for this was really, I don't know, I was having a little difficult time, and I was thinking about how the fact that sometimes the person that it's hardest to be kind with is yourself. So. I dealt a bad hand to my heart, watched my sweet dream walk away. I thought I found a place to start. I thought I found a place to stay. But I played it all wrong, let the deal go down. I was spinning on a world of hurt. I left off before I looked and came crashing to the earth. How often have I been on the outside looking in, tapping on the window of my own tender mercy. The window of my own tender mercy. Unanswered promises and empty prayers, like an hourglass with no saying. I found no comfort there, and let the darkness hold my hand. My broken sadness was a clock ticking on unset time. Leftover sharp remarks and whispered between the points of a fading line. How often have I been on the outside looking in, tapping on the window of my own tender mercy. The window of my own tender mercy. I left my better days aside, fell into a whiskey blue. I wasted worry on a stubborn mind, where no joy would filter through. And I wish I would forgive myself for the times that I have failed. Heroes and saints that show the way to me, but but I follow the devil in the details. How often have I been on the outside looking in, tapping on the window, my own tender mercy, the window, my own tender mercy, the window of my tender mercy. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, one more. This next song is called Thunder Moon. And I wrote it, or I was inspired to write it on a camping trip out west, where we were trying to understand the mysteries of how the moon works. 2 miles into Tennessee. Whoop, I gotta start over because that was the wrong key. Sorry. 2 miles into Tennessee. I knew you'd rather be in the driver's seat. I spun out and hit the dirt 100 different ways. Underneath a thunder moon, that's when I thought, there is much I do not know, precious little that I do. I know the sun is gonna rise in the east, but I do not understand. I do not understand the moon. Sometimes it's big and full and bright. There are nights it's dark and out of sight. Always to the rhythm of its own turning, always to the time of its own tune. And I think there is much I do not know, precious little that I do. I know the sun is gonna rise in the east, but I do not understand. I do not understand. There are orbits and risings. There are the ways the winds will blow. Oh. So little do I know, so little, Lord, now, so little. You wanted to grow up and be some kind of cowboy, break the rules, and live like an outlaw, spinning silver in the fool's gold, rolling much I do not know. Precious little that I do. I know the sun is gonna rise in the east. But I will never understand. I'll never understand the moon.
Oh my gosh, I loved that song. That was great. Is that going to be on your new album? Oh, okay, awesome. I'll be on the lookout for that.
So much.
Thank you, Karen. All right, our last performer of the night is Kella Parker. Gonna unmute you and let's see. Kella is our featured artist tonight, which means she's gonna play 3 songs for us, and we're gonna have a little Q&A, short little talk about songwriting and stuff afterwards. So if anyone on this call or anyone watching on YouTube wants to type in any thoughts or questions for her, we'll do that afterwards. And Kella, I know you are releasing a lot of music this year, so maybe you can tell us a little about that as well.
Yeah. Well, first, I just wanted to say thank you so much for putting this together, Sienna. Especially this past couple of weeks, I feel like getting to be even in a virtual space with other people musically is like one of the only ways that I'm getting through this and processing everything that's happening. So I really appreciate getting to have this space, and I really enjoyed everybody's music. It was so many different and like really beautiful approaches to songwriting and composing. So I have just really enjoyed this so far. So the first song that I'm going to do is one of the things I've been doing during quarantine. One of my new hobbies is like going back and pulling old songs out and reworking them. And I had started reworking this one, and I thought it was about something else. And then over these past couple of weeks, I decided that it's actually about what it was about before, and I just needed to rework it a little bit differently according to that. So this is called Shadow, and it's about how when we don't own our shadow, we cause harm in the world. And that's what a lot of the violence that we're contending with, a lot of it comes from that. So this is called Shadow, and because it's still pretty new, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna mess up some of the lyrics, so bear with me. Time to purge and say goodbye. So long the old paradigm is our dark comes to light. All alone, try to hide. What inside do you run? It's gonna show before too long. If you hate what you fear, all you deny, coming clear, all you won't find. The light is tight. When your shadow blinding your eyes. The shame we never want to feel. The gaping wound we're called to heal. Was it take knows the score. Oh, we won't find the light this time. With our shadow blinding our eyes. Going forward without a reckoning, nowhere back to some mythical peace. We are stuck in the shape of history, and the only way out is justice. Well, you need all you know, get back your shadow.
Woo!
That's that one.
Oh, that was awesome.
And then the next one I'm gonna do is this is a song that I wrote like around the 2016 election, which was a very another very difficult moment. And I lived in New York at the time, in a very a community where there was a lot of immigrants, and so in particular the Muslim ban and all of the threats against immigrants were really hitting everybody really hard. So I was working on this song at the time, and it's a song about how everybody who's in America deserves to be here, and it's called Can't Cheat Fate. Take me back in time, trail of history. Was it myth or memory? Those miles of opportunity, fictional fate. Well, I don't know. Have to trust the road on. I have to leave good enough alone. But beware, they say the past repeats. Try and cheat fate. Oh, and it's no crime to dare the dream. Can you hear the ancestors plead to all who come to set their roots, saying this is your America too? But beware, they say the past repeats. Try and cheat. Everything I circle, everything to age, and today you. Thanks, guys. Thanks for all the nice comments. Really appreciate it. This last one is also a song that I wrote in 2016. That was a hard year. So there was a lot of songwriting going on. And this one is more hopeful, though. And it's originally I wrote it like about how, we're not doing a good enough job responding to climate change. But I think it has some application to sort of everything that's happening right now. So this is called Simple Species.
It's always the same. One step forward and back again. We can see the waves as they rise. A simple species for each eye. Oh, 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 oh. And we can hear cold prophecy. A test of fears, a test of everything. Oh, 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 oh. Let our love light the way. Ba, 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 ba. Only trust will make us safe. Ah, 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 ah. We were made for times like this. Oh, you're stronger still. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. And this could be just a chapter all night. We could turn chaos to light, chaos to light. Oh, 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 oh. Let our love light the way. Ba, ba, da, 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 bum, bum. Only trust will make us safe. Ah, 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 ah. We were made for times like this. Oh, we are stronger still. Let our love light the way. Ah, 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 ah. Only trust will make us safe. Ah, 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 ah. We were made for times like this. Oh, we are stronger still. Four corners, earth and sky. Reclaim all that you hide. Hold it like the loss and gain. Oh, take this offering. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Let our love light the way. Only trust makes us safe. We were made for times like this. Oh, we are stronger still. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh,
Ooh, amazing.
Thanks so much for letting me play 3 songs. I'm really honored to get to play here.
Oh,
Anna.
thank you so much. I'm happy too. I feel like we met a long time ago at an open mic, and I've always wanted to connect with you and hear you more since then. So I'm glad we've had the chance. Yeah. I'm just curious about your songwriting process. You're such a wonderful guitar player, and your playing is very unique. Does it
Thank you.
start there for you, or what's your songwriting process like?
It kind of depends. Sometimes it is like noodling around and coming up with a riff or something, and then sometimes it's like a little melody starts and it's totally disconnected from the instrument, and it's more just driven by the lyrics. So it just kind of depends. But a lot of it is noodling. I noodle a lot. So, and actually, I remember, I don't know if we were talking about it in person or if it was on social media, but I remember you talking about playing in alternate tunings a lot. And I do that as well. And that's definitely one of the, like that tuning that I use. I get a lot of mileage out of that tuning. And it's like the simplest tuning ever. It's just EAD, EAD. So it's like you're just doubling everything. So it's like, it's kind of like doing power chords in lots of different voicings, because there's so many open strings. And so, yeah, I think like alternate tunings are awesome because it just sort of opens your brain up a little bit. So
Yeah, I totally agree. I'll have to try that one.
it's fun.
I was gonna say, I think because you didn't switch tunings for those three songs, and I know
Yeah.
I sometimes have that issue because I write in a bunch of different ones, so it's like
Yeah.
retuning it between every song is a pain.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a pain.
But yeah, you get some great sounds. I think it does push creativity to just like throw it in a weird tuning and just play around.
Yeah. Yeah. Like make your brain think a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so a lot of the songs that you played tonight had kind of a like political tone that you were talking about. Is that something that inspires you to write a lot, or like how did you get into songwriting? Was that I don't
I
know.
mean,
That's
I started playing music when I was really young, and for a long time it was more. I mean, I grew up playing like classical piano too, so it was more a lot of instrumental uh, playing, and so as far as like what inspires me, I mean, I feel like a lot of the time I've tended to write kind of um I used to write more vaguely, and just sort of like my lyrics were a lot more vague. And I felt kind of like I used to write poetry a lot, and I kind of transferred that into songwriting, and I kept a lot of uh the sort of vague or multiplicity of meanings that you have in poetry, and it made for really vague songs a lot of the time. And so I've worked on being like, no, what do you actually mean, like what are you actually singing about, and kind of forcing myself to spell it out in plain words and then putting that into the lyrics. And so like the shadow song, like when I first wrote that a couple years ago, it was very vague and it wasn't clear about what exactly, where was the shadow, and all of that kind of stuff. So like with everything that's happening right now, it's like, okay, well, here's, some really apparent examples of how this uh, arises in society. And so even though it's like I'm not directly speaking on just that example, it's like kind of helps it take shape. So yeah, I think that was sort of what your question was, right?
yeah. My question was a little vague. You answered it beautifully. But I love that songs can take on different meanings, like you said. Sometimes you don't even know what
Yeah.
it's about when you first write it, or it as time and history moves on,
Yeah.
it comes to mean something else.
Yeah.
Let's see, we're almost at our time here. My last question is just, how has this like quarantine situation we've all been living in, has it affected your music at all? Have you been had plans changed, or maybe had other things you've started working on that you weren't expecting?
Yeah. Initially, I was like, oh, I'm going to use this time to finish my album that I've been working on for a while. And then then it just, it's like I've had a lot of different inspirations that have just sort of steered me in a lot of different directions, and I've been kind of following following the inspiration and trying to not worry too much about being I have to get X, Y, and Z done. It's a very fluid time, and it's hard to be in such a fluid time and keep I guess basically I've been trying to be active, but not quite so rigid in my goal orientation, because everything is changing so quickly. And I think also being in quarantine and getting to rest for a while, and then like everything that's been happening these past couple of weeks, I feel like I've been able to be way more present with it. And I think that that's a big part of what's happening all over, is that everyone, like the whole world, is so much more present to things when they happen. And this is something that we really need to deal with as a society. And so I feel like that informs a lot of the, it's like it makes us be able to be attentive, whether it's through our music or it's through a protest or whatever it is we're doing. It's like, yeah, things are fluid and things are changing, and getting to be present to it rather than being bombarded by the zillion things we would normally be doing in like normal life. I think that's a real gift, and it takes weird shapes. It doesn't necessarily always look the way you think it's going to look. So yeah, it's been an interesting time for sure.
Yeah, that was really well said. I love that. I think I've been hoping from the beginning of this that there's like just some good that will come out of all of this, and each of us being forced to sit with things, be more present. Absolutely, change is coming out of that. So yeah. Well, thank you so much, Kella, and thanks everybody. I'm gonna switch to the gallery view here for a second so we can all say goodbye, and just going to thank everyone again. We had Jessie, Gloria, Karen, Kella performing tonight, and Peach was here. She had to run to a second performance she was doing at 6, so thanks everyone for watching. We do this the first and third Saturday of every month, so invite your friends, come back. The next one will be June 20th, and it was lovely to spend this time with you all, and we'll see you next time.